Hi everyone, I'm Nick.
And I'm Lauren.
And today is a very exciting episode. Really very exciting because we are going to compare Promenade Peak and Rivergreen. And this is the first time we are going to compare two projects side by side. It's not going to be your standard project analysis because usually we just compare one project, right? If you are in the market going to buy a River Valley project, these two projects are going to launch at the same time. So it's highly likely you will join the balloting process for these two projects. And the timeline is almost exactly the same.
They are actually on the actual same
day.
Yes.
So you definitely want to watch till the end of this video because we're going to share with you the exact game plan you should take. We'll really go straight into pricing analysis, what we think makes more sense for you. We want to give you some sort of framework so that on the actual day of booking, you will have a much better idea before you enter the booking room. Okay, so let's go straight into it. So this is the perspective. Promenade Peak on the left, Rivergreen on the right. Both very nice developments.
Well, moving on to the location maps, you can see that Promenade Peak is actually located right opposite Great Wall City, and it also has a sheltered walkway to Havelock MRT. For Promenade Peak, right, I would say that the perk will be it's situated in a very livable area where you have malls, you have MRT, and it's also within 1 km to 2 primary school, which is Alexander Primary School as well as River Valley Primary School. And for Rivergreen, same thing, it's actually right beside Great Wall City. In fact, it is linked to Great Wall City via the MRT. You can actually go down the MRT and walk directly to the Great Wall City Mall. So for Rivergreen and Promenade Peak, they are actually located very near to each other.
So why this is interesting is because both developers, they bought super cheap in my opinion. So Wing Tai bought at 1325 over here, All Green bought at 1304. So I would say very similar pricing. We have so many land plots over here. So this is Rivergreen, then Promenade Peak is over here. There are total 4 to 5 land plots in the upcoming months that's launching for sale. So because if you're a developer, you got so many people launching at the same time, will you dare to sell high? So back to the land price, this is the land price that they bought. Why this is so attractive is because these are the recent OCR, Outside Central Region government land sales result. And look at Lorong Chuan. I mean, great location, but it's still deemed as Outside Central Region, 1,376. This is higher than River Valley projects, the two that we're going to talk about today. Singhai bought Bayshore, but Outside Central Region once again, 1,388. What does this mean to you? Potentially next year, you will need to pay maybe higher than River Valley prices to go for Lorong Chuan and Bayshore.
Okay, so moving on to the site plan for Promenade Peak as well as Rivergreen, you can see that Promenade Peak is situated in this plot of land in this shape, and the entrance is over here, whereas Promenade Peak is a more longish and linear shape.
Rivergreen, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, Rivergreen, the entrance is over here and all the blocks are situated here.
Okay, personally, I like regular shape lands.
Agree.
So Rivergreen is a bit irregular shape.
Exactly. So actually, I went to the show fair visit already, and I find that Wing Tai actually did it exceptionally well because even though the entrance is over here and all the facilities are here, right, they make it very grand, as well as they have this really high ceiling function room, a clear segregation, whereas this is more of a communal area and this is a residential area, slightly different compared to Promenade Peak, which is more regular in that sense.
Why this is important? Because for River Valley area, I think coming home you want to feel shock, and the entrance is something that definitely every day you go in and out. So the feeling that you get when you leave your house or when visitors come to your house, these are things that I think are plus points.
The peak is up to level 63, whereby you can see the segregation. There is a sky terrace on level 22 as well as level 43, and on level 63 there are actually 2 penthouses over here. So as you can see, from level 2 all the way to level 43, right, is where all the smaller units, 1 plus study, 2, and the smaller 3 units are. And on top, right, 44 onwards are where all the bigger units, 3 premium, 4 premium, as well as 5 premium with private lift are situated. For level 1 to level 42, right, it spans across 12 units over here. As you can see how they are being stacked, right, I don't think that the lobby is going to be long compared to a normal layout because they are being stacked very efficiently. And of course, there are 6 lifts that's servicing these 12 units. If you divide, that means 2 units to 1 lift which I think is pretty fair.
Sure.
Yeah. Then for the upper levels, they have private lift, it's not so much of a concern as well, even though they are situated at a higher floor.
I think developer did quite well. For the bigger units, they really put private lift because this is a one block development. Even you have 6 lifts, it's going to be quite crowded. And if you are paying this kind of money, you have this kind of size, I think you don't want to cram with everybody else.
So moving on to Rivergreen. So for Rivergreen, it is level 2 all the way to level 36, and then it's spanned across 15 units, as you can see from the diagram over here.
So one block, there's no sky terraces, so there's no jump. And in terms of layout, it's the same throughout. It's not like certain floor jump, then it's a big unit type. So it's a bit different from Promenade Peak, but definitely something that we are more used to with other projects. Okay, so project information, I think the key thing will be these 2 projects, while they are near, they are in different districts. If you are looking in terms of profitability, I don't think the district will matter that much in this area because no one's going to fault you for saying that Zion is River Valley.
For Rivergreen, the entry price to enter into the smaller units are actually very, very attractive if we are looking at the rental yield perspective.
So this is one of the most exciting slides that we have in this presentation. In fact, at the time of filming this video, we just received the indicative pricing for Promenade Peak. They haven't released until much later. We have Rivergreen prices already. And from the sizes itself, we knew that Rivergreen was going to be more affordable. And true enough, actually, I think the pricing will be super competitive across the bedroom type. Question is, can they deliver? Can they give you the features of the 3 and 4 bedder with that small size? So this video is here to answer all your burning questions.
Okay, so for the 1 bedroom, this is the 1 bedroom from Rivergreen. There are 2 layouts, both are 420 square feet, and they are situated at these 2 stacks. So for the 1 bedder, I would think that it's pretty straightforward. This part over here, which is not part of your unit anyway, it is more of like a facade. If you have seen the model, right, they are actually mimicking a wave. So you will see a lot of this kind of edges.
Do you think that the enclosable kitchen is a huge win because most of the 1 bedder these days they tend to be kitchenettes? And then your master bath, once again, Jack and Jill. So if you want to host people, they don't need to see your master bedroom. So 420 square feet, once again, these 2 projects are harmonized. I do think that it's very decent size, it's very efficient. So bear in mind, this 420 maybe will feel like about 480 plus square feet if it's non-harmonized. So we move on to the 1 plus study. So the 1 plus study is interesting because from 420 to 452, that's only about 32 square feet extra. You get a study.
But in this case, right, if you are thinking of enclosing this, then you might have to take note because your entrance to the bath is over here. So for the guests, they either have to go through here or they have to go through this room, depending on how you're going to use your study area for. For the 1 plus study, this would be the Promenade Peak 527. So as you can see, comparing to Rivergreen, right, Promenade Peak has a very long walkway. Their study is tucked in this corner over here, like a small study or a small storage area, or in fact, if you were to hack this away, it can be a bigger master bedroom.
So this is the other 1 plus study from Promenade Peak. I think this is a more efficiently planned out layout. Why do I say that? Because the walkway now is shorter. I like this better also because why? You open the door, there's a bit of jagged walkway, which means what? Which means privacy. When I sit here, over here, maybe from the entrance, the delivery person can't really see what's happening in the living area. The kitchen, they split 50-50, left and right. It seems shorter, but trust me, it's good. All the appliances you need will still be there. They're not going to shortchange you. For the previous 1 plus study, there is no window in the master bath. This one, they give you the window. Trust me, it matters.
Makes a difference.
It matters.
Usually, we don't see bathroom with window in smaller units anymore because they are usually in the middle. Whereas for here, you are able to get that because you can see from the side plan, right? This unit is actually situated at a corner.
When you're buying a 1 plus study, what kind of buyer will you be?
Likely investor.
So if you are buying to flip, now with the SSD changes, might get it in 3 years time, then the remaining 1 year, what are you going to do? Likely you need to rent out. So rental you will and should be your priority when you look into the smaller bedroom type. So what we did over here, we went to find out the closest comparison we can think of in the vicinity, and that is Irwell Hill Residences. So let me walk you through. Irwell Hill rental, highest done 5,001. To work out the rental yield, the highest transacted 1 plus study 1.48 million. 4.13%, that is the rental yield, and that is actually quite good. Another project that we look at is Riviere. Riviere is also very new. Riviere is the one in District 3, which is the old Zouk. This is 560 square feet, but it's only 1 bedroom, no study. Okay, but they are still able to demand 4.07% rental yield. So conservatively, I think River Valley can command a 4%. We are trying to find out what should be your cut-off pricing in buying a 1+ study in this location to be safe. So conservatively, we just look at Irwell Hill. I just take the highest rental done, 5,001. That will be my benchmark in terms of rental. I want to find out if I want to achieve a 4% rental yield, what is the highest price I should look at in either Rivergreen or Promenade Peak, and that translates to 1.53 million. The project seems to be going all-time high, resale is hitting all-time high. How can we better protect our own interests? And we do for our clients to make sure, hey, if you reach a certain price, I think it doesn't make sense anymore, let's either look at other layouts or other projects already. We don't buy into the hype, because that's very important. When you go to the booking day, it's so chaotic, right? And as a buyer, definitely you will feel very, very nervous. So these are things, this is a hard stop, or we will walk away if anything is more than this pricing. Okay, Lauren, can you walk us through the layout comparison between the 1+ studies?
Yes, of course. So I would say that from this slide onwards, right, it's going to be the most important part of the whole video, because we will be doing comparison between Rivergreen and Promenade Peak side by side. Like what Nick has mentioned earlier, we believe that if you are looking at entering into either of this development, you probably will just look at both, because they are launching on the same day, booking is also on the same day. You would have placed check on both, and then that is where this part is extremely important. So first, if you are looking to enter 1+ study, looking at the layout of Rivergreen compared to Promenade Peak, right? So Rivergreen is at 452 and Promenade Peak is 75 square feet bigger at 527, but both are actually the same unit type 1+ study. The difference would be the master bathroom, you have this window, meaning to say there's natural ventilation and it is generally brighter, which in this case, right, there's only 1 bathroom in your whole house. It actually makes a very, very big difference. So now let's take a look at the pricing comparison between 1+ study Rivergreen as well as Promenade Peak. So as we have seen from the layout comparison previously, these two layouts are almost the same. If you were to enter into the 1+ study for rental, I would say that the entry price is extremely important. So for Rivergreen, it's starting at 1.29 million, and for Promenade Peak, it's starting at 1.412 million. And of course, because it is 70+ square feet bigger, which is why it is the starting price is more expensive. Then in this case, right, if I were to place my ballot for these two, I will actually focus on getting my unit at Rivergreen first, because it's much lower in terms of the entry price. So let's say by the time it reaches my number and I'm only left with Rivergreen level 14, for example, which is at 1.364. In this case, right, it's very important that you should start looking at what is available at Promenade Peak. Because potentially, if you were to top up only 50k, you can get a bigger 1+ study at Promenade Peak with almost the same layout.
So I think the key thing is, what is the value you have in mind for the gap? Then everything will be much clearer, because the size is different. By the end of the day, you're getting 1+ study, and what Lauren mentioned earlier, for 1+ study, rental yield is extremely important.
So in this case, we both agreed that we are willing to pay 50,000 more to change a bigger 1+ study at Promenade Peak. We will have done so. But of course, on the booking day itself, it's going to be very chaotic. The units are just moving as and when. So at that moment, right, it is very important for you to first stay calm, and secondly, if you have a very good agent with you, he or she will be able to guide you very, very clearly what is your strategy going to be like.
In short, we will go for Rivergreen first. So this highlighted in blue, these are the units that we will go first. Then we will go to we'll go to Promenade Peak over here. Then after that, the decision will be zigzag like that. So we will always maintain the 50k difference, where Promenade Peak is more expensive than Rivergreen, but the gap is below 50k, we'll go Promenade Peak. If the gap is more than 50k, where Promenade Peak is more than 50k more expensive than Rivergreen, then we'll stick to Rivergreen because after all, it's still a 1+ study. So as long as you have this price gap in mind, this value you have in mind, very clearly, I think on booking day, you will have a much clearer mind to navigate through this. Of course, you may disagree the 50k value itself, but the framework, I think this is a good framework to adopt moving forward.
The whole booking process is not going to be as smooth as you think, which is why this number and this clarity is extremely important. You must be able to know what exactly to look out for when the units are flying off during the booking day.
Pricing we have here, these are prices that we predict, we extrapolate from the indicative prices
Released by the
So I
developers.
take one step back, we were too excited. Let me redo this. So actually what we did, we went to take the starting from price, we use it as the lowest floor price because let's face it, that should be the cheapest price. From there we add 0.5% increment level on level because in general that is about there lah. Depending on developer, they have different pricing strategies, but usually it's between 0.5 to 0.8%, that kind of variable. So that's what we did. Of course, we are not sure where they're going to load, like maybe certain floor they might jump much more, we don't know. But this is supposed to be a framework where we want to explain in terms of price gap. How they're going to load the different floor levels, it does not matter. As long as you yourself, you know what is the price gap you have in mind, and within this price gap, which one you should go. I think that's more important because we can't control how developers are going to load at different levels. So it may be a case that on Rivergreen, the top 10 levels is going to be super expensive. Then as long as you have a clear mind, what is the gap, you go for whichever development, I think at the end of the day, you will thank yourself for that clarity. So for 2-bedroom, we will go through Rivergreen first. From the get-go, I really like how they adopt the walkway. Once again, is going to be super efficient over here. Kitchen, enclosable again. Once again, quite rare to have enclosable kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah, 2-bedroom, usually also kitchenette. 4-seater dining set over here. Bathroom, once again, yeah. So this is a 2-bed, 1-bath, 527 square feet. Key thing I want to highlight, 527 square feet, isn't it very familiar? Isn't that Promenade Peak's 1+ side layout? Both harmonized. It's not like a harmonized versus not harmonized. What is happening? So from here, we can see that is Rivergreen developer doing something interesting. They are trying to make everything very small because they predicted that maybe Promenade Peak will have a more standard layout and they want to fight that.
Yes.
Why are they doing this? Because if I build small, even if PSF is higher, ultimately as a buyer yourself, quantum is going to be a much more important thing because that affects your down payment, that affects your loan. So if I'm going to build a very small unit and you're buying to rental, you're not going to stay, rental is more important, maybe I can price it ultimately cheaper, but I don't shortchange my profit margin. So I think Wing Tai is doing something very interesting, very good, very attractive, and I think it will attract a lot of investors, buyers who are looking to enter River Valley. Because why? With this kind of sizing, suddenly, if you are looking at Lentor, Springleaf, Canberra, suddenly you got chance to buy a 2-bed, 1-bath in a CCR project. Also quite short. So this is what we are seeing that's happening in Wing Tai, in Rivergreen, and really they are not shortchanging you in terms of the features for the 2-bed, 1-bath. Let's go straight into the layout comparison. As I mentioned, Promenade Peak, 527 square feet over here. Then Rivergreen, 2-bed, 1-bath, 527 square feet. So the key question now is this. Promenade Peak, thankfully, they start from 1.4+ million. If they start same price, then really I don't know what to say. Because that will be a much easier decision for you to decide.
Yeah.
But right now, 2-bed, 1-bath for Rivergreen, understandably a bit higher. So then the key question is how?
Depends on the gap again.
Depends on the gap. So that's why we are here to help you explain what is the gap that we are going to look for.
Yes.
So as you see, we highlighted already. Once again, this is not the exact prices. We have to caveat this. If not, later everybody report us. So this is predicted prices based on indicative pricing. We just 0.5% all the way. It's a bit more simplified, but once again, what we want to deliver is how you're going to decide based on the gap. So from here, we have already started. We will go for Rivergreen first. So this is the key thing that we want to deliver. Then after that, it will be a zigzag fashion once again. So what is the gap over here? We feel that $150,000 will be the kind of gap that will be comfortable to upgrade from a Promenade Peak 1 Plus study to a 2-bed 1 bath.
Yes.
Okay, why is this a fair comparison? It's because honestly, the 2-bed 1 bath, because it's so small, right? And we also know that right now in today's market, not many people are keen in the 2-bed 1 bath kind of layout, right, Lauren? So in terms of exit, maybe you're concerned. But if you are able to purchase with a 1 plus study kind of budget, something interesting that suddenly I can upgrade, I can buy something a bit bigger. So Rivergreen, they know this and they are targeting the 1 plus study buyers, which is exactly this case, and that's why it's a very fair comparison to have these two side by side. Because likely if you are looking at 1 plus study for Promenade Peak, the pricing you can go for Rivergreen.
Exactly.
You just need to top up a bit. But the key question now is the gap. So for us, we decide because in rental, 2-bed 1 bath, definitely you stand a better chance, a better advantage in the rental market. You can command a better premium. We feel that 150k makes sense. So at the start, Rivergreen first, until Rivergreen is more expensive, exceed the 150k gap with Promenade Peak. Promenade Peak now is more than 150k cheaper. Then you go back to Promenade Peak, and then you just zigzag your way up lah. But the next question will be then, when do you start going for the next layout? Because as you do this, before you know it, you need to consider, maybe I can go for the next layout already.
Exactly.
So we will touch more about that later on.
Okay, next, let's look at 2-bedder premium starting from Rivergreen. So Rivergreen 2-bedder premium, there are two layouts. Both are the same size at 603 square feet. And if you were to take a look at the layout, same thing. I think the developer really did a great job, because if for all the small units, right, it has enclosable kitchen. Okay, and then after that, they also have a proper dining area that is against the wall. You have a standard 2-bathroom and you have 2-bedroom, and same thing for the common bathroom, that it is a Jack and Jill, so your guest is able to enter the bathroom without going into any of your rooms, so full privacy there. And I would think that for these two layout, I can't really tell where's the difference.
I think the entrance there's a slight difference.
And both are dumbbell layout. Okay, and let's move on to the next one, which is the 2-bedroom premium for Promenade Peak. So same as the previous one, you can see that even though these two are 2-bedroom premium, same unit type, but the size for Promenade Peak is much larger at 657 square feet. And of course, first thing to take note of is there is no dumbbell layout at Promenade Peak 2-bedder. All is a conventional layout, meaning to say it has a longer walkway leading to the 2 rooms. Okay, when you walk into this layout, first thing, the biggest difference would also be the kitchen. There is no enclosable kitchen. Both are open concept kitchen and kitchenette. Right, so when you move in, there is a proper dining and then living area. It's pretty much a generic 2-bedder layout. I'll move on to the next Promenade Peak 2-bedder layout, B3, which is at 667. So as mentioned earlier, there is no dumbbell. So for B3, B4 at 667, 689, both are conventional layout, meaning to say it has a longer walkway compared to Rivergreen's 2-bedder, which is a dumbbell layout. And I would also think that the difference would be the foyer area. Other than that, it is pretty much similar, because for Promenade Peak, right, you have to know that for them to come up with this whole site plan, they are actually stacking like playing Lego. So the layout for all the different unit is slightly different. But they are trying to optimize the space over there to give you a proper 2-bed, 2-bath. And the last 2-bedroom premium layout is at 678, which is significantly larger. Same thing, I don't think there's much difference in the layout other than the fact that when you walk in, you are not looking through your whole unit. You have a slight privacy over here because you are walking towards a wall before you turn right into your unit. Now let's move on to layout comparison between Rivergreen 607 and Promenade Peak at the smallest one at 657. For Promenade Peak, even though it is 54 square feet larger, but I do not think that this space is functional in a way that, because Rivergreen, right, being a dumbbell layout, it really saves up a lot of space on the walkway. So for this conventional layout, It doesn't have an enclosable kitchen. It has a longer walkway, which is why the size is bigger. If I were to compare it apple to apple, I would definitely go for Rivergreen, which is smaller. And that being said, right, the pricing is definitely more attractive as well. So same thing, we are looking at booking day strategy. If we are looking at a 2-bed 2-bath or 2-bedder premium unit at both Rivergreen and Promenade Peak, yes, no doubt Promenade Peak has a few 2-bed 2-bath layout, but if you were to look at the entry price, right, Rivergreen, it is still more attractive because it is slightly lower, starting from 1.72, and this price guide starting from price is actually released by developer, and the rest is actually what we add on plus 0.5%, which is typically what developers do, just for the sake of sharing how we derive this strategy over here.
So once again, we will prioritize Rivergreen first, and the green shaded area will be the units that we'll go for first. Let's explain why we arrived this 30k difference over here. So because both are too premium, on paper Rivergreen is still smaller. So we need to consider, okay, when you want to exit, right, a resale buyer comes in, yes, both layouts actually give you the same attributes, just that on paper it's a bit different because one is dumbbell, the other one is a conventional layout, so there's a bit more maybe wastage of space for Promenade Peak because of the walkway. But after all, there are two premiums. Yeah, there's still two premium. It's not like you get one more feature than the other. It's not like that. So we feel that if Rivergreen becomes up to 30k more expensive, then really doesn't make sense really. Because after all, people might be sensitive to PSF after all. So that's why we feel that when Rivergreen becomes 30k more expensive, then yes, you should come here. Why? Because Rivergreen, once again, they give you this enclosable kitchen, which we feel it's a better feature than this open concept kind of kitchen. But of course, because Promenade Peak has a foyer, so in terms of privacy, it is a bit better. But in terms of the usage of space, we do feel that Rivergreen is better, and that's why with all these considerations, we arrive at $30,000 as the gap. Okay, the next will be the 2+ study. This is interesting. Why? Because Rivergreen's 2+ study is 657. Why is it so familiar? Because that's Promenade Peak's smallest 2-bedroom premium. So very interesting. The 2+ study, they also reuse the same formula, enclosable kitchen, which I think is brilliant. The study, one corner, not very big, it's really just one corner, but fair enough, I think it's okay. After all, it's 657 square feet. Dining, I quite like it. I mean, this part is shorter, but still they give you a dedicated dining instead of Promenade Peak where the dining is really together with living. What is the setback for that is that your living might seem a bit smaller because they have to put your dining together with your living. So on floor plan seems okay, but in reality, when you put your sofa in the dining set, you might feel that wow, really very cramped, and you might have difficulty buying your furniture in that way so I do still prefer different placement in terms of dining and the living area, just personal preference. But dumbbell layout once again, so 657 square feet will be a very, very efficient layout and harmonized. Then we go straight to layout comparison. Why? Because as I mentioned, Promenade Peak 2 Premium is also 657 square feet. So how do we go about this? Same size. So this is the same thing. Just now we mentioned Rivergreen 2-bed 1-bath 527 square feet, Promenade Peak 1+ study 527 square feet. So we're going to navigate about the same way because there will come in the point in time where the pricing will be very close. Then you can get extra study. Will you want to? Definitely.
Yes.
So that's why we will find out how we're going to navigate this. Okay, so from the indicative pricing, Promenade Peak likely going to start from 1.77 million thereabout. Then Rivergreen will start from 1.87 million from our prediction based on indicative pricing. But since Promenade Peak is significantly cheaper, about 100k cheaper from the starting from price, we are going to go for Promenade Peak first. Why is that? Because we only value the study to be about 50k. What do we mean by that? So as we go up, right, up to 1.82 million thereabout, with an extra $50,000, I can suddenly get a study. The rental, maybe I can get a bit more. Maybe it's worth it. So that's why we will start to come to 2+ study at Rivergreen. Then from there, we will maintain the gap. So once again, we'll ask a question when at booking day, is the gap within 50k? If the gap is within 50k, then we go for Rivergreen, because now I just need to pay less than 50k or up to 50k for an extra study. I think it is worth it. But if the gap is more than 50k, the study now costs more than 50k, we don't think it's quite as worth it, so we'll stick with Promenade Peak. Easy as that. But then the next question will also be, where is the cutoff over here? So that then we need to see the 3-bedroom, what are the starting from prices lah. Okay, so this is the remaining 2+ study. As you can see, the sizes are significantly bigger. We will touch on this. Why? Because if you are going for a 2+ study at Rivergreen, then you should also see Promenade Peak. How is the 2+ study? In my opinion, or rather in our opinion, I think the usage of space is not as efficient, because yes, you have very good foyer, but the walkway is a bit long for a 2-bedroom, 2+ study kind of layout lah. I rather they use the space to have a bigger dining or bigger living area, or build dumbbell in that sense. Okay, my senses are, or my guessing, why don't they build dumbbell is because lower floors are all smaller bedroom types, higher floors are all bigger bedroom types. So maybe in terms of plumbing situation, because the bigger bedroom types, the bathrooms are on one side, side by side, it may be easier to build this way rather than building dumbbells. So maybe that's why all the 2 bedrooms are all this way. I mean, this is my sensing lah, because most developers, they will have a mix and match, because some people may prefer conventional, some people may prefer dumbbell. So maybe that's why we have some clarity on this. But back to this point, I do think that for Harmonize 764, comparing with Rivergreen, it seems a bit too big for a 2+ study. And if you're buying this for investment to rent out, the rental you're going to pay a bit more for the same kind of rental. The next question is it worth it lah? But if you compare this as a harmonized project with a non-harmonized, then actually 764 with study is quite worth it, because I came from a 764 square feet, 2-bed, 2-bath. Granted, I have an enclosed kitchen, but I didn't have a study. That's a non-harmonized kind of calculation. So now harmonized 764 square feet, you get an additional study. Actually, it's not bad. But when you put the 2 floor plans side by side and you compare with Rivergreen, suddenly Rivergreen, the 657 actually seems more worth it lah, in that sense. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier just now, we compare 107 square feet difference. I think is quite a bit much. So I don't think in terms of rental, if you're going to rent this out, tenants are going to pay as much. Of course, if you're buying for own stay, then please choose a layout that you prefer. But the next key question is, what would be the pricing like lah? So once again, this is our booking day strategy. Rivergreen versus Promenade Peak. Notice the size difference once again. We do think that it's more worth it to go for Rivergreen first, because it's smaller, it's going to be cheaper, up to 2 million. Until the gap is about 100k difference, then maybe you can start looking at Promenade Peak, because after all, Promenade Peak is bigger on the paper, which means that you are probably going to get a bit more space in the bedroom, the living area, or just the entire vibe lah. Personally, I do prefer conventional layout, because for example, if my wife or I host friends and I want to chill in the room, because maybe you think I extrovert lah, but actually I got my introvert self. Sometimes I really damn shy. I will be like, let's say I have friends come over, by 11 p.m. I say, guys, I need to sleep already. Then I will go to the master bedroom. Dumbbell, you go either bedroom, you will also feel the noise one.
Yeah, for honestly, I agree with Nick that having a conventional layout, you have more privacy, because in master bedroom it's actually further in, and guests usually wouldn't go all the way in lah.
Yeah, you have one bedroom or buffer in terms of noise and everything. So if you are buying for own stay, that may be a consideration, and you may prefer conventional over dumbbell layout. Okay, so Lauren, let's walk us through the 3-bedroom layout, please.
Sure. So for the 3-bedroom layout at Rivergreen, the smallest unit is at 768 square feet. I don't know how they do it, but this is almost the same size as the 2+ study at Promenade Peak. Once again,
764 square feet for Promenade Peak, the smallest 2+ study.
It's just a 4 square feet difference, which is why the comparison is very important in this video. Okay, so for C1 768 square feet, you can see how the developer actually put together everything. I find that it is brilliant, because same thing, you have an enclosable kitchen, and of course, one thing to take note of is that for bedroom 3, it is slightly smaller. You can only place one single bed instead of the normal queen size bed. But other than that, right, I find that the layout is very, very decent. You have 2 rooms on one side and 1 smaller room on the other side. And you also have a proper dining, proper living. And of course, you move on to C2872. You have a slightly longer walkway foyer before you reach your kitchen. And the kitchen is also tucked in. This is a 3-bedder compact, meaning to say you do not have yard or utility. But because of the tucked-in kitchen with window, it makes it definitely more livable lah. You also have a proper dining, living, and for this layout, it is slightly bigger. So as you can see, the common bedroom 3, right, it is slightly bigger as well. You can put up to a queen size bed.
This 3-bedroom is very decent. Why? Because they all come with home shelter. Okay, in my opinion, the C1 is a 2-bedroom plus study on steroids. I just jokingly told Lauren that. Why do I say that? Because you get full 2-bedroom, and this is important. The big bedrooms are having the view. Because you are paying top dollars for this, they have the view.
Yeah.
The study is the one that your view is compromised, it's sideways. But it's okay. You know why? Because you compare this with Promenade Peak 2 plus study, this one they give you windows in your bathrooms there. They give you windows in your kitchen, they give you tucked in kitchen some more. They give you home shelter. Extra 4 square feet, they give you all of this. I do think is super worth it.
Yes.
But once again, 4-seater. So that's why I say this is a 2 plus study on steroids. Because they give you 3-bedroom or even 3-bedroom premium, 3-bedroom plus home shelter kind of layout in a 2 plus study kind of setting. Of course, they deem it as 3-bedroom. I just feel that it's 2-bedroom on steroids, 2 plus study. But if you are looking for a decent 3-bedroom in Rivergreen, the 872 square feet is superbly well done. Because why? The dining 6-seater. This is what a 3-bedroom buyer is looking at. Home shelter they give you for a compact 3-bedroom. Because here they don't have compact and premium for Rivergreen. So they already give you home shelter for the base 3-bedroom, which I think that it's like buying iPhone Pro at iPhone prices. Because they give you home shelter for free in that sense. Granted, the bedroom 3 is on this side. So that is a bit of a compromise. Why do I say that? Because the view this way will definitely not be as good, as brilliant as this facing the view. But other than that, if you are budget constrained, everything, this has all the features that you will want in a smaller 3-bedroom floor plate, and yet you can highly likely be able to afford this to enter in a River Valley location.
Okay, so now there is also one more of the 3-bedder, which is the last 3-bedder unit type C3 at 883 square feet. Same thing, it has a longer walkway and it has a home shelter. I would think that 883 and 872 is about the same in terms of the layout. And then like what Nate has mentioned, for bedroom 2, it is bigger, you can put queen, but the view may be compromised because it is situated at the other side. But if you were to ask me, if I can get a proper 3-bedder with home shelter, as for a small family, it is actually a very, very livable space.
I agree. I think one key thing why they did this bedroom over here is because if they had done all 3 bedrooms one way, you're going to have a bowling alley over here. Then they cannot give you the 800 plus square feet kind of square footage. But because they want to keep sizes small, because they want to keep it more affordable, that's why they do this. Because they feel that even if I compromise this a bit, I think people will still pay. Having an aircon latch over here would also mean that likely the windows, I think they're half, right?
Yes.
So bedroom 2 will have quite a bit of compromise, but they can keep prices affordable.
So now is the Promenade Peak's 3-bedroom. For Promenade's Peak 3-bedroom, it also comes with household shelter, which is very different from the normal 3 compact, because usually normal 3 compact there is no home shelter. So as you can see, for River Valley area, for both Rivergreen and Promenade Peak, their smallest 3-bedroom actually comes with a home shelter. And yes, this is the layout that Nick was mentioning. The 3 bedrooms are at one side and there is a long alley in the middle. But the good thing is also that these 3 rooms, right, actually have good views. They are all facing the view that the master is having. So this is one thing to take note of. Your very, very big and cozy living area. As you can see, there are 2 corners over there. So I would think that actually the living area is pretty big, which is why the C1 3-bedder compact type in Promenade Peak is significantly larger at 1076 square feet. And of course, the other C2 type is also bigger at 1033. It also have the 3 rooms at one side together with the kitchen. So this walkway is even longer. Yeah, so you have like master bedroom 1, bedroom 2 and the kitchen all at one side, and you have your household shelter tucked at the other side. And I would say that this layout, it is very lean. When you walk in, right, first thing first, it is definitely a portrait layout where you have to walk past your living, dining before you reach a half balcony. And then after that, you turn to a really long walkway again to all the rooms. Interesting thing that I would like to highlight is that at the kitchen, right, there's actually a small opening window leading to your balcony. And this is actually provided by the developer. You will have this small little bar top table whereby you can have your breakfast in your balcony that is actually link directly to your kitchen. So from your kitchen, you can actually take things over the bar counter, and you can actually communicate with the people inside as well. And I find that this is actually a very interesting concept in this 3-bedroom that I don't really see it in other developments. Moving on to the layout comparison, we are going to take a 3-bedder at Rivergreen C1 at 768 to compare with Promenade Peak's 2+ study at 764, because these two sizes is only a small difference of 4 square feet.
I really like Rivergreen's 3-bedrooms. I can get home shelter. I can get both bathrooms with windows, because mind you, the 2+ study here, the bathroom 2 has no windows. I can get enclosed kitchen with windows. Yeah lor, I really think don't need to compare much in that sense. Of course, if same price, very easy.
So this is very important for us to highlight to you guys out there, in case that you are so fixated on getting a 2+ study and you only compare between Promenade Peak's 2+ study and Rivergreen's 2+ study. But if you were to really look at the layout, right, you could actually even consider Rivergreen's 3-bedder, which is 1 extra bedroom with aircon and window compared to a study corner for Promenade's Peak 2+ study.
Okay, so right now is the crucial part where we want to compare on booking day. If you are thinking between a 3-bed Rivergreen and 2+ study Promenade Peak, how should we navigate with this? So personally, I think both of us have agreed if the gap is only about 150k, meaning if I can top up within 150k, I can get a 3rd bedroom, I can get all the features that we previously mentioned, definitely Rivergreen is the choice to go. Even though sizing is about the same, but we get much more in return. So 150k is the gap that we're going to agree on. That is why we will go for Rivergreen first. But when the gap becomes above, out of 150k, then we come back to Promenade Peak, because we don't find that it's quite worth it already. So beyond that, we're just going to zigzag all the way like that until the next price point where we can potentially go to the next layout. So that will be the game plan.
And just a recap, for 200k, you get 1 home shelter, enclosable kitchen, and 1 additional proper bedroom. It makes a difference.
And bathroom with window also.
For a 3-bedroom premium at Promenade Peak, it comes with a private lift, meaning to say this premium type unit type is situated on level 44 all the way up to 62, whereas the unit types that we have been going through previously is actually from level 2 all the way to level 43. That being said, right, we feel that this is a completely different unit type compared to the other 3-bedder. It should be a product on its own, because clients who are looking to buy into a 3-bedder premium with private lift would be a different group of buyers looking to buy at the smaller unit type for livability, affordability, or investment purposes. Okay, so if you were to look at the 3-bedroom premium, both layout CP1 and CP2 at 1195 and 1162 comes with the private lift. When you come out from the private lift, right, you do have this really spacious living and dining area. So I would think that this whole layout is the most regular you can find in the whole of Promenade Peak. Because previously, as you can see, they are trying to stack 12 units in the whole of the lower level, so that there might be a little bit of odd shape. But for the premium onwards, right, it is more regular layout. There will not be a lot of wasted space. It is a very efficient and functional layout. You walk to the right side, you will walk past a lifestyle kitchen, which is, I would think, a dry kitchen, into the wet kitchen, and then you have your yard, your utility WC, and also your secondary entrance into the house. Okay, and for all the 3-bedrooms, they are also facing same as the master, meaning to say that you probably will have a view since you are starting from level 44 onwards.
CP2, the kitchen, you also have a nice view, like the yard area. You have the same view with the living.
Yeah. That's very interesting. So actually, they are quite different layout because for CP2, it is like a dumbbell, but it's with a kitchen on one side and 3 rooms on the other side. Yeah, so also with that, you can see that they also save a little bit on the walkway, which is why it is slightly smaller. I think that the layout is superior, but the bathroom too, they do not have window again.
I also prefer CP2. I think, why do I say that? Because I think from private lift lobby, you come out, there is more privacy for CP2. If CP1, right, okay, see, most people with private lift, they will not close this door. Why? Because with your access card, you can just go to your level only. Nobody can go to your level. So most people may not even close this door. Granted, for CP1, when you come out to your unit, you're greeted by the view. But unfortunately, this is not a landscape layout, so it's not going to be as wild as those with landscape layout. But I do think that in terms of privacy, let's say, unfortunately, you're sharing the lift with someone, then it may not be as private as you think. But for CP2, definitely it's going to be more private. I do think the usage of space, I do think CP2 is a bit more efficient, but the utility with window for CP1 is a huge win for me, because if let's say I have a helper, the utility may be able to be a helper's room is more
livable. Yes.
There's a lot of pros and cons in both layout, but yeah lor. So you have to decide which is more important for you lah. So now we go to the 4-bedroom, and once again we are wowed by Rivergreen's 4-bedroom. But once again, I think at this juncture, then we need to ask ourselves already, because why? For a big floor plate like this of bigger 4-bedroom, the key question is, if you buy River Valley, yes, it's going to be affordable, but can you exit? Why? Because for River Valley, people are used to buying freehold, people are used to buying big floor plate, and these units tend to have really good profitability over the years. So the key question is, yes, you can afford, but can you exit well next time? So that's the key question. So for 4-bedroom, maybe that's the point where you need to start to think a bit further lah. So TLDR, I'm just going to let you know, my personal take is that I don't think it will perform as well with those that are bigger floor plate. So that's why just now we didn't label the 3-bedroom with private lift as the same kind of status. If you are buying for own stay, you are buying for the long haul, the 3-bedroom private lift, this kind of layout will be the ones to go for. This 4-bedroom may be a bit more short term, because it's not a very big floor plate. But if you're looking for bang for the buck, you're looking for investment maybe in a shorter term, this might be something interesting. So let me just go straight into a floor plan. Once again, very private. You go in, very short walkway, kitchen comes with windows, bathroom too comes with windows, so no complaints about that. Home shelter still there. Dining 6-seater, not 8-seater, 6-seater. So to me, this is a bit like a 3-bedroom plus 1 more bedroom. Why do I say that? Because the bedroom 4 over here, only 7 square meters. Then for me, another issue I have with this is that why did they put the 7 square meter bedroom over here instead of here? Because if I have perfect 9 square meters bedroom all here, then the decent bedrooms will have a nice view. Because this bedroom too, the view once again will be compromised because it's on this side. So that is my issue lah. And the developer also know the bedroom sizes are a bit smaller. This one, for avoidance of doubt, is still decent. 9 square meters for this bedroom, even though it doesn't come with wardrobe. But this one is 7 square meter. They already by default don't give you the wardrobe. So you need to think about it. Why do they do that? Maybe because they feel that the size is a bit on the smaller side. But if you want to opt in, you can. So you have a choice for that. So this is the 4-bedroom. We will identify this as maybe 3-bedroom plus study equivalent. We won't classify this as a 4-bedroom because it's 90 square feet there.
I find that the developer really did a good job in a way that you can see that for all the bedrooms, right, it has an RC ledge outside, meaning to say you actually have a full view, Yeah, and of course you can say that for bedroom 2, you may not have a very good view, but still having a window, floor to ceiling window, it makes a difference in terms of the aesthetics. And one thing to also take note of is that even though this is a 4-bedroom unit, a lot of beams are hackable. You have a lot of ways to play play with how you want to design your house. So actually, if you go to the show flat unit, right, you realize that the ID actually take away the beam between the master room and the small bedroom 4 to show you that you can actually expand your master bedroom, to have a small study corner inside, or to expand your walk-in wardrobe. So all these are possible because of the non-PPVC design.
So I think this layout will be very, very popular among the smaller families or even couples who are looking for a bigger space, because there's a lot of possibilities you can do with this. Even for the bedroom 3, you want to hack this wall to make a landscape living.
No doubt, I find that for people coming to River Valley, they will prefer a bigger 4-plate for a 4-bedder, but it is a 980, meaning to say the quantum can potentially be so attractive that allows a lot of people who initially thought that River Valley is out of reach for 4-bedder, now they can suddenly move in.
Interesting. So let's compare it with the 3-bedroom we saw at Promenade Peak. Do you feel that Rivergreen has a slight advantage? 4-bedroom smaller by 53 square feet. And then both have home shelter, things like that. So let's analyze the pricing. So once again, I will go for Rivergreen. What about you, Lauren?
I will definitely go for Rivergreen.
980 square feet. So quantum 2.8 million. I just want to highlight this because I just bought Lentor Central 4-bedroom 2.8 million, guys. So of course my size was very big, 1399 square feet. This is 980 square feet. Of course cannot compare. But hey, you are at River Valley area same price as Lentor 4-bedroom. Does it make sense? I think this is very, very attractive. So really you should look at it. So Rivergreen 4-bedroom will go up to 3 million. What is our gap? Our gap is about 200k. So once again, we feel that if the gap is within 200k, it's a no-brainer to jump from the 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom, even though the size is a bit on the smaller side, but you actually get much more in return. Once again, that 200k is less than 10%, because the quantum you've seen here is about hitting 3 million. So once again, 3 mil, come here, then after that, just look at the gap, then you decide which one to go for.
Ultimately, it depends on how you value this additional room and the layout at Rivergreen. So this number 200k is what we think that we are going to do it, but for you on the booking day itself, you could have a very different value on how you actually see this whole thing. So this is actually just a guide to let you know how is our thought process like, so that on booking day it is clearer for us to know where to look out for and which area, which part of the pricing and which unit type to monitor closely. This is the 4-bedroom private live layout at Promenade Peak. For Rivergreen, there isn't any. For 4-bedder private live, you can see the layout is so much more superior. The size is already so much bigger, 1421, which is actually a typical luxury layout for 4-bedder with private live. And it suits the whole River Valley vibes, because people here, usually they're willing to pay for the bigger unit type. Because they're buying for own stay. You have malls, schools, and MRT. We have mentioned that earlier. It is very, very livable. Okay, so let's take a look at the layout. For both, it is the same size at 1421. Same thing starting from level 44 onwards all the way up to 62, and both comes with the private lift. Okay, so when you walk in from the private lift, I think this is what Nick has mentioned. When you walk in, right, you will not close the door. So meaning to say there is lesser privacy because if there is someone who is also taking the private lift with you, when the door opens, right, they can actually look into your unit already. Then I would think that this layout is also like the dumbbell compared to the 3-bedroom private lift, where the kitchen is at one side and all the other rooms are actually at the other side. This is what we call a landscape layout with the huge balcony. Of course, if you are staying so high and you have a good view, having a landscape balcony actually helps a lot.
So compare a portrait and a landscape. Definitely landscape, you have so much more light coming in.
So for this one, utility, you have a window. It has a junior master, which typically for 4-bedder, you should have a junior master. And for the master bedroom, it comes with a walk-in wardrobe, as well as a very, very grand bathroom with a bathtub.
There's pros and cons, of course, I agree with you on that. But I feel that the kitchen for D1 should be brighter because the window is over here. For D2, the kitchen, right, the window is over here. This part will be quite dark. Of course, the light can enter this way, but I do think this one might be a bit darker. But what I like about this is, okay, utility, the window is very big. Utility here also got window. But your D2 WC no window. Here there is window for D1.
Wow.
Yeah.
For own stay living area for D2, it seems more regular.
Yeah.
Compared to D1, because D1 has this kitchen that is like, it actually eats into this space.
Yeah.
And there is also one last unit, DP3.
Oh, this is the best. Maybe I explain this one.
Yes.
So once again, private lift come in, but this landscape, living, dining, right, has no obstruction. Because just now, right, you see the living, the wall here, you put a TV is short. So if you want to put a projector or whatsoever, your wall is limited by, your TV is limited by this wall.
Yep.
But this landscape, living, dining, even if you don't watch TV or your TV is so big, you can have it. This landscape, I think, is definitely wider than the previous one.
Yep.
And the kitchen, the way they do it here, right, is something that I've seen in a lot of UOL projects. I really, really like it. Why? Because when you take out the sliding door over here, the kitchen will be part of your living already.
Right.
But this is something that you cannot achieve in the previous layout. The kitchen is really tucked one side. It does not incorporate into your living, dining. But if you're someone who like to host, if you want to have the River Valley feel-good factor, this is definitely worth it. And I do think that at launch, this unit type will go first compared to the other two.
Yes.
Because by River Valley people, the true River Valley OG people, right, one thing they don't like money.
Yes.
If they see the floor plan they like, the view they like, they'll buy already. It's just big enough.
Yeah. Okay. So for this 5-bedroom at 1884 square feet, same thing, level 44 all the way to 62 comes with a private lift. So Nick, just now you say that layout is good, right? Now, what do you think about this 5-bedder?
This one is the best. Hey guys, this one, they even have 2 chairs here for you to 敬茶, you know. This is it. So just now that 4-bedroom that we saw, that is like a 5-bedroom light. They give you a teaser of how the 5-bedroom is like. But the true OG, the true rich, this is the 5-bedroom. But you need to be mindful, this one starting price, if I'm not wrong, 6.63.
Yeah.
6 over million. Which means you potentially can buy almost a bungalow.
Yes.
But it's a bungalow in the sky, maybe.
Yeah, but then again, if you have to look at the data that is surrounding this area for the bigger units, I don't think that this price is exceptionally high.
One thing for sure, if you do buy this one, please invite us. I really want to see how it feels like to be there. You reach at this kind of price point, it's really about a feel-good factor.
Yeah.
I think it's something that money cannot buy.
Yes.
But in this case, maybe money can buy, because now you got all this selection, you can buy level 62 if you really want. 184 square feet, actually is still quite efficient, because a lot of the big floor plate here is about 2,000 square feet. But that kind of 2,000 square feet, you may not feel the space. Okay, so I think we have come to the end. It's a painfully long video. I'm so sorry for that, but why? Because we are cramping 2 projects into one video, and the key thing is, if you are joining the booking day, if you are joining the balloting, the framework I do think will be very, very good for you during the booking day itself. Because why? I don't think a lot of agents are able to do this so clearly, because it's very rare that we have this kind of situation where pricing is so close, floor plan is close, price buyers ourselves when we purchase our properties. Even though we are professional, we are so stressed. And that was just one project. We went for Grand Dunban, I went for Lentor Central. We didn't have other comparison. So I'm not so sure whether the agent you're working with can help you to navigate this. I think it's important that you have all this knowledge before you go for booking day.
Yes.
Yeah, so I hope this has provided a lot of value for you. If you have benefited from this video, please give us a thumbs up, please subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.